Center, a little bit of an overview. Then we're going to be really digging into the program and admissions, and then we're going to hand it off to our faculty for that Q&A and digging into what that curriculum looks like. First, we'll start off with introductions. My name is Rebecca Perfecto. I'm the Director of Admissions and Recruitment for the UNT Health Science Center at Fort Worth. Next, I'm going to hand it over to our faculty. If you can unmute yourself and do a quick intro. We'll start with Dr. Heck.
Thank you. Yes, I'm Dr. Amber Heck, and I am an associate professor at UNT HSC, predominantly in the new Bachelor's of Science degree program, and I teach biochemistry as well as other molecular sciences.
I'm Dr. Bern Perchowski. I am an assistant professor at HSC. I teach human anatomy, embryology, histology, and also anthropology for the undergraduate program.
And thank you again so much for joining us to our faculty. Well, first of all, I just want to introduce our new rebranding. It's been going on for about 2 years. You're going to start hearing from us a little bit more from HSC at Fort Worth rather than UNT HSC. So if you're getting mail from HSC at Fort Worth, that is still us. We have rebranded, and so we are HSC, right? We are claiming the city of Fort Worth. We are here for you. We are here as a support for you. We are now centralized admissions, which means we now have a lot more resources to offer more one-on-one advising. If any parent also needs advising in Spanish, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. We'd be happy to facilitate that as well. I do want to specify we are still part of that big UNT system, so we still have the machine right behind us, helping us and pushing us. But today, like I mentioned, we are here to share a little bit more of our undergraduate program. So it's our very first undergraduate program. It is not our last. We just announced we're going to be opening a College of Nursing, but that will be a conversation for next year, so TBD. However, I would like to share a quick introduction about our Bachelor's in Science and Biomedical Sciences at HSC. And I think after this video, you're going to be able to see why we think your students are going to be the ideal candidate for this program, especially if they want to go into research, especially if they want to go into a health professions program as well.
The calling of your future is calling you now. It's time to reignite your passion for your health sciences education. You have what it takes to see it through. And the Health Science Center School of Biomedical Sciences will help get you there. With an all-new, flexible, 100% online undergraduate degree program where you'll learn from experienced faculty committed to your success. Now's the time, your time, to light the fire and finish what you started. In as few as 4 semesters, you can complete your bachelor's degree in biomedical sciences, and you'll be qualified for an impactful new career, or prepared to take the next step in your academic journey to improve the lives of the people around you, to make a difference in your community, and ultimately make the world a better place. Make the commitment. Let's finish what you started. Contact the Health Science Center School of Biomedical Sciences to continue transforming your future today. The calling.
So that was a quick overview. As you all know, we are located in the city of Fort Worth. We are in your backyard. It literally takes me about 5 minutes to get to TCC Trinity. So again, we want you coming over to our campus. Come and check us out. Come and visit us. Even though it is a fully virtual online program, you still have access to our facilities. Your students will have access to our libraries and pretty much the entire campus. So come and visit us. Book that appointment. I will show you at the end how to be able to do that. Now, UNT Health Science Center does have quite a few programs, and every single time somebody's asking or inquiring what the best track is for that admissions and pursuing that admissions, one of the things I like to mention is our values and making sure that you are looking at our values and guiding yourself accordingly. For example, serving others first, integrity, respect, collaboration, and being visionary. I do want to say these values have gone through a little bit of a revamp that we'll be able to share on March 6th. So we're expanding our values. We are a values-driven institution. Part of those values is, again, serving the city of Fort Worth. We want your students to come, learn, and then be able to impact their community right here in the city of Fort Worth. Like I shared, again, our mission, creating those healthier solutions for a healthier community, our vision of one university built on values, defining and producing the providers of the future. So your student will start with us, right, with that undergraduate program, and then they can continue, like I mentioned, applying to these professional programs and professional degrees within our system. So what are some of those professional degrees? Well, we have the Texas College of Osteopathic Medicine. So it's a medical school, one of the top medical schools in Texas as well. We have been named top osteopathic medicine school in the nation for primary care for the past 3 years by U.S. News and World Report. We have our School of Public Health. We know that epidemiology has been a hot ticket item for the past 2 years. And again, that is a really great area that they can pursue. We have fully funded PhDs as well. We have our College of Pharmacy, which again, you can pursue several master's degree programs or our PharmD program. We have our School of Health Professions, in which houses our PA program, our Physician Assistant Studies program, and our DPT program as well. And if any of your students would like to sit down and learn more about these programs, we have that available as well. But like I mentioned today, our big highlight is the School of Biomedical Sciences. We have our brand new bachelor's degree. Your students can then continue on to a specialized master's. They can pursue either that research track or continue to improve their credentials for applying into medical school or dental school. And they can also continue on to their PhD. Our PhDs right now are fully funded. I do have to say that $28,000 stipend has gone up as well to $30,000, and it pays your tuition and fees, and it also has that stipend as well. So wanted to make sure that you all have that piece of information before we dug into the biomedical sciences program highlights. So this is a flexible flexible online program. It is at your own pace, 100% online. It helps as a degree completion. So what does that mean for your students? It means that they do need to complete certain criteria and certain classes before they apply to our program. It's also very flexible, so that your student can finish it in either 4 to 6 semesters. Our tuition is incredibly affordable. So right now we understand that college is, one, incredibly expensive. The dorms can also be incredibly expensive. So if you're looking for a solution for your student to maybe remain at home, let's say that they do want to pursue a medical career, that tends to be a little bit on the expensive side, right? We're looking at $120,000. So a really great solution would be staying at home, saving that money, and then going after our affordable and competitive tuition. One thing that is not listed here, we have some truly outstanding scholarship packages as well. And your student can also apply for FAFSA or TASFA for our undergraduate program. You're of course going to gain extensive knowledge of human biology, including biochemistry, anatomy, physiology, and behavior. You're going to have incredibly knowledgeable faculty in an online environment. So a lot of our faculty members are also teaching within those programs that I mentioned. So that Texas College, that medical school, PA school. So we do have quite a few faculty members, again, that will be able to mentor your student, work with your student. And as of right now, we have a small cohort. So because we have a small cohort, we're able to provide very specialized attention to your students. And another thing that we do have are student navigators. Our student navigators are going to be working with your student, ensuring that they have all the resources that they need in order to be successful in their program. Let's say that their computer stops working and they're unable to take an exam. Boom, boom, boom. Student navigator will be able to assist with that as well. So I'm going to go to our next slide. If you have any questions, please feel free to visit this website right here. It will provide additional information. You can also register to receive more information from us. I do encourage you to go ahead and register because we'll be sending you information on how to access our information sessions, our one-on-ones, our on-campus programming and events, which we tend to have quite a few during the semester. So a little bit of what that application looks like and that application timeline. We have 3 different start dates. So students can start either in spring, in the summer, or in the fall. And then the applications will open accordingly. So for this upcoming spring semester, it was in September, and then it closed in November 15th. The summer application is currently open. So if you have any senior students that might be interested, the application will be closing up shortly on April 1. And then students that want to start in the fall 2023, the application will then open on April 1, and then it will be closing July 1, 2023. The application cost is $68, and there's an additional processing fee of $50. However, TAB students, we will be purchasing fee waivers. So please let us know if you are interested. As of this semester, we do have fee waivers available for TAB students. I believe we will continue having them for next semester. But yeah, just let us know. If any of your students have any need, we would be more than happy to help supply for that fee, for the application fee. We know applying for colleges is very expensive. It adds up real quick. So again, just shoot us an email and let us know, and we'd be more than happy to provide that. So pretty much that application opens, and then after that application closes, the student still has about 15 days to submit all supporting documents. So we'll talk about those supportive documents in just a little bit. So let's talk a little bit about those admission requirements. Students will need, and for some reason this is a little bit on the clear side, so we'll go ahead and edit that, but you do need 60 college credits, and you do need to be Texas core complete. TAB students, check and check. They're going to be fantastic. 2.0 cumulative GPA, chances are TAB students, check. 15 and 16 hours science and math. We have been working very hard with your counselors and with your advisors to ensure that you will be meeting a lot of those science and math prerequisites, and you shouldn't have to take a lot of additional. So we'll go over those classes. And then, of course, we will need all official transcripts. So we will be needing that TCC transcript as well. We do have some essay questions you have to complete, and your letter of recommendation is optional. So again, pretty straightforward. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate on dropping it in the chat. I'm happy to read them as I am sharing with you this information. But again, 60 credit. Texas core complete 2.0, 15 to 16 hours of science and math, all official transcripts, complete those essay questions, optional letter of recommendation, and of course the application, which can be found on AHCAS, Allied Health CAS. And I will be dropping that as our faculty are sharing a little bit more about that curriculum. I'll make sure I'll send you some links on that. So let's go over that 15 to 16 hour science and math. We're looking at Bio 1, General Chemistry 1, Organic Chemistry 1, College Algebra, Calculus, or the equivalent. I understand that organic chemistry can be a little bit of a touchy subject because chances are you might have not taken it. And so that's all right. I believe that we do have in place a mechanism in which students can take it over the summer and then go ahead and enroll with or apply to our program. You can actually apply while you're on track to take that organic chemistry class. So I want to make sure that that is not a hurdle for TAP students to apply. Another thing that we're working on, we are working on a system in which students can self-enroll online to take that organic chemistry 1. We'll be sending that to the advisor as soon as we have it. So if TCC is unable to provide it over the summer, that's all right. We're working on a separate online system in which students can then self-register before they start with our program. Now let's talk about the money. So like I mentioned, college is very expensive, and you are all, I'm sure, very familiar as your students start hitting that junior and senior years. You start seeing these, anywhere from $10,000 to $25,000 per year for state schools now. I believe that UNT in Denton, their tuition and fees is upwards of $25,000, including that's the entire cost of attendance, right? So room, board, all of that. So let's talk a little bit about what ours looks like. Because it is fully online, again, the student can live at home. It kind of looks like this. So we do divide it into fall 1 and fall 2, spring 1 and then spring 2. Then we have that summer program, and then we have fall, and then again second fall. So if you add all of these up, it's going to be around $18,000 for the entire degree. Again, this is a completion degree, so your student will already come in with all those TABS credits. Any questions about tuition and fees? All right, so we're looking at, again, $18,000, but let's talk about some of the help that we have to offer. So the student can apply for FAFSA, so that means grants, loans, and we have access also to that Texas grant. So we also have state of Texas grants. They can apply for TASFA if eligible or is documented. And then we do have our President scholarships. Our President scholarships criteria, 3.75, $5,000. Dean scholarships, if you have a 3.25 to a 3.74, $2,500. Both scholarships will be divided between that spring and fall semesters. And then the scholarship is, we're pretty much giving you the award as soon as you're admitted. So that acceptance letter is going to be having your award number as well. So I do encourage you, as soon as you know that this is a program for you, your student is excited, please encourage them to apply so that they can at least start seeing how much they're getting, and that they can have a really good idea about what financial landscape is looking like. So with that, I'm going to be quiet, and I'm going to let our faculty talk a little bit about what this curriculum looks like, what kind of, what do labs look like, especially since those labs are going to be online, and then careers. What happens next? So I'm going to stop sharing, and once they're done, I'm going to return and I'm going to give you some tools for you to access our team and how we can help your student be successful in the admissions process.
All right, so I'm going to start with talking about some of our curriculum considerations. So we have 4 core courses. So these are going to be classes that your student has to take that they have to get a minimum GPA of a C in that to pass. For our electives, we're a little bit more flexible. But with those core courses, those are going to be the ones that are associated with labs. So I teach human anatomy. So I'm obviously not mailing your student a human cadaver, but we do use lab kits from Carolina Biological. And so students are going to get vouchers. They're going to get sent a fetal pig dissection, as well as different organ dissections that correspond with what we're learning in the class of that week. And so these are all done by photographs. So your student gets to dissect the organ, they take the pictures, they start to label them, they send it to me, I give them feedback. I think some of my students this semester were a little hesitant to get mailed a box full of like sheep parts, which I was also hesitant because this is my first time running that. But I think as they've gotten through it, they're like, this is not so bad. I'm like, maybe it'll be good by the end of the semester. So we also have our biochemistry course is also going to be one of those core courses. So I'm going to give it to Dr. Heck to describe the labs for that.
Yeah, as Dr. Perchowski had mentioned, the core courses that are required of the curriculum do have labs, and that's required for an in-person program that's focused on biomedical sciences. However, usually those are biology programs, right? Where ours is specific to biomedical sciences, relevant to human health and disease. So in each of the core courses, there are labs included. Some of them will be kits. In the biochemistry course, the kits include a couple of different non-caustic chemicals and some measuring devices, including pH strips, so that we can learn how reactions impact pH, for example, in that particular case. There's also laboratory components that are online. You may receive links to text resources or laboratory notebooks to complete alongside. And that's definitely, I think, exemplifies the number of activities that we include in these online courses. They are asynchronous. So we're not lecturing to students in person. The students can take the course at any time within the due date window. So it's very convenient and flexible. But we have recorded lectures, or we create, instructor generated textbooks online, and then also include activities, because learning how to use the material is just as important as learning the material. So we have lots of activities, plenty of assignments, and exams, and these are definitely scenario based. You'll learn how to apply what you've learned in class in different realistic situations relevant to human biomedical sciences. So that's just a little bit about that. Would you like me to touch on other aspects of the program?
I can talk about the structure. So we offer this in 8-week class chunks. So every 8 weeks, your student's going to take 2 to 3 classes, usually only 2, and then they will take 2 more in the second 8 weeks. And so those together create a full credit semester. So if you were going to say UNT Denton and you took a fall semester course load, you might be taking 4 or 5 classes. So we've just broken them up so that your student can focus on a more limited range of topics all at once. So it is an accelerated curriculum because we are getting through all of the content in those 8 weeks. But we think that by only having 2 classes to focus on, you can do a lot better in those courses. And so that is how we organize the classes. In the summer, we only have the 1 8-week term, but for our fall and spring, it's those 2 terms. And as Rebecca showed you, that's how the pricing is broken down. So you would take probably a required course with the entire cohort that you come in with. And then there are a choice of different electives that are available each semester. So this semester we have genetics. This coming spring term 2, we're going to be having embryology. I know that there's a kinesiology course this summer, just to kind of give you a sample of some of the different choices that students will have when they're designing their curriculum. Myself and Dr. Heck also act as student mentors. So we meet with our students every semester to talk about what kind of career path they want and help them to pick electives that would suit that career path. So because right now our cohort is pretty small, we are able to meet very regularly with our current students. So there is a lot of individualized attention in this program. So
I'm going to answer one of the questions in the chat. It was, does TABS offer organic chemistry, which is kind of the question of the day. Currently, we have not offered it. And that's simply been more because we haven't had the need to offer that. When this program rolled out last year and we were trying to get things together, we looked at options. I talked to TCC personnel over the science department. And at that time, it was like, yes, if you can get us 15 students, we can offer the class in the summer. Well, we couldn't meet the 15 student request. And so it wasn't offered. Moving forward, now that we have this in place and we're trying to streamline kids while they're at TABS, it is a conversation that we are having if there are students eligible. Our problem currently is numbers. So TCC requires 15 students in a course, even during the school year, to have a section. So they do offer at TCC an organic chemistry class. It may or may not fit with our schedule because sometimes they stack their labs. And so, you know, it may be a little bit more challenging to get, but if a student is eligible to take it and wants to take it because of this program, there is an opportunity potentially for the fall and the spring of this coming school year to do that. So obviously with my current seniors, there would not be, they would need to work on figuring that out for a summer option. But for our current juniors and below, like if they're in dual credit chem, most of our students are taking that as a junior. You would have the opportunity then to free up space in your senior year to potentially take organic. It all depends on when it's offered, because we currently don't have enough to make just a tab section where I can say I need it from this time to this time. So it may be moving in that direction if we have enough interest and we have enough kids who are eligible to take it. But if not, it's kind of at the mercy of TCC. It is an approved course though for our trajectory as far as our course load and our crosswalk. So I believe, you know, when the time comes and we can do it, it will be there. But we will see. Right now, I know a push for our kids for prepping you and being the most prepared for any kind of pre-med track with the shift of courses that Fort Worth ISD has now allowed. I think the push a little bit is going to be to do an honors chemistry in junior year, do a dual credit chemistry senior year, so you have a really good base and foundation, and that way you're going to perform much better on an OChem organic chemistry class. Whereas right now, kids who are taking it dual credit chem in junior year have no chemistry foundation whatsoever. They're going straight into their chem for the first time as dual credit. So it is an extremely difficult course for our students, and may or may not be the best to prep them for an organic chemistry type of course. So I think what we're trying to move towards, and again, this is all somewhat preliminary because it's just in talks right now, is to try to maybe push more for that honors chem level as a base, dual credit chem while you're with us, and then you should be able to excel really well when or whenever you take the organic. So hopefully, Ms. Villa Gomez, I got your answer. Does anyone else want to type in the chat or unmute and have a question about anything, either from the tab side or from the Health Science Center side?
I think you covered it all really. Like, yes, we're also working on our end to implement a virtual course delivery system in which they might be able to take that organic chem over the summer. As soon as those contracts are going, we will let you know. I do know that we're contracts, I believe it's in the contracts office, and sometimes that takes a minute. So as soon as it's available, we will send it your way.
So I do have a request. Can they see the previous screen? Is that from, I think that's going to be from your screen, Miss Perfecto. And it's okay to unmute if you want to tell us which screen, is this the one that you are wanting, Ms. Villagomez? Or Mr. Nugent, I think is Nugent.
It was the one with the list of, you can keep going. It was the one right before we took it off. Well, yeah, with the list of careers.
Oh, the careers, okay. That one?
I think it was one. Oh, no, yeah, that's it. That's it. Thank you.
Okay. Any other requests or any comments? Questions?
I can mention something before we take this slide down, because I think it's important to note that our program is located at a health science center, which is different than many universities you might be familiar with. We are all health science all the time, and we have access to various degree programs, various professionals across fields. So there is the opportunity to connect your student to professionals in different fields that they're interested in. Many of our students do want to go on to another program after they receive their bachelor's degree in a graduate school or a professional school like medical school or dental. But there are plenty of opportunities to work in different fields, as you can see here, upon graduation. Many of them, as a laboratory technician, but with some networking and shadowing and perhaps a little co-curricular training, many of these are possible as well.
Will you guys address the question? It hasn't been asked yet tonight, but I know previously on some presentations, sometimes there's a question about whether or not this program being at the Health Science Center at a bachelor level gives them any kind of advantage into admissions to med school opportunities or to even your DO program or some of that. Does anyone want to address that?
I can address it if, Rebecca.
Sorry, I was waiting for my dog to stop barking. My apologies. Oh, and there's a recording and everything. Go ahead, Dr. Hack, and then I'm happy to chime in.
Well, I was just going to comment on medical school admissions in general. Of course, letters from our program faculty to an admissions committee on campus are going to carry some weight, right? They do have an understanding of the criteria that we use to determine whether or not we'll support, write a letter of support. But in general, when you are applying for medical or dental school, I think there are multiple legs to the table. The degree program alone is not going to make the difference. Academics alone do not, testing scores alone, MCAT scores do not. It's a combination of different activities. It could be, vocational or volunteer. I think it's important to note that admissions committees take a holistic view. So they don't just let in students that have the best GPA and the best MCAT. And our students, when they are interested in applying to professional school like medical school, we are poised to give them advice to do so.
Can I ask about the timing if a student wants to go to professional school? So if your program's 1 year, do they apply to the professional school during that 1 year and study for whatever tests they need to do, or do they do that afterwards?
They would do it during that year. Being an accelerated program, that is also an accelerated expectation if they want to do that, right? But taking the MCAT and applying for medical school during the program is possible, and we can help them figure out how.
Okay, thank you.
So I did want to chime in. So like Dr. Heck said, absolutely. I am on the other side. So my team is the one that does the initial reading, the initial evaluation of that file, and then sends it to the faculty. The faculty are ultimately the ones who determine who sits in our class. But one of the things I like to share is what a rubric looks like. So a lot of our rubric looks like our values, ensuring that your students are serving others first, because they're going to be expected to do that once they're here. Integrity, have they been placed in leadership positions within their church, within their school, within their community? Respect, are they working with communities other than their own? Collaboration, are they part of a sports team? Are they part of an organization? And then of course being visionary. So all of these things are some of the criteria that we're looking at when we're looking for our ideal candidate. And I cannot emphasize enough how much we look for those letters of recommendation from our faculty. They do carry a lot of weight. And then the mentorship that your student is going to receive is going to set them up for success. The reason why is because I've been seeing a lot of our applicants that are really outstanding applicants are falling a little bit short because they're not knowing things like deadlines, timelines. They're not understanding maybe some of the tips and tricks behind it. And so again, the student can complete the degree. And if you feel like the student still needs to boost their credentials, maybe gain more experience, you're going to have mentors showing you that track. And so within the School of Biomedical Sciences as well, we have a program called MedSci, so medical science. It's a 1 year, you can choose fully online or in person, and that it's almost the equivalent of that first year of medical school, which will then boost their credentials to go into medical program or a dental program. We do pull students from MedSci every single year. They actually end up being about 8 to 10% of our TCOM class. For TCOM, or Texas College of Osteopathic Medicine, we only sit about 230 students. So again, that 10% is a pretty big number, because we know our School of Biomedical Sciences, we know the type of people that they're going to have people who are ready for that curriculum of medical school. So again, once they're done with their bachelor's, they can continue with our institution. We will continue preparing them for those next steps.
And our faculty have really diverse experiences that we are able to mentor students on. If you don't mind a personal plug, I taught at 3 different medical schools before coming to this program. And I think that matriculation into medical school is really important. It's one of my passions in my work. And we have expertise in all sorts of different programs where we can guide our students.
And one of the programs that I have as a webinar coming up later in April, on April 24th, is for the JAMP program. And that's something else that can address some of those streamlining to med school opportunities and preparation and things like that. UNT Health Science Center of Fort Worth will be hosting that. I think one of the speakers is going to be coming from them as well. So that is something you want to put on your calendar for April 24th. And then parents for another program with UNT Health Science Center of Fort Worth, we're going to do on March 27th, which is the Farm Direct. So if your student's currently in pharmacy tech right now, that's going to be another opportunity to kind of streamline. So one of the questions in the chat that's been answered is about how quickly students can finish off their bachelor's degree. And I know in some other schools, depending on the major, even if they did Associates of Science, they're having to repeat maybe a biology course, even though it's taken here as a biology for science majors. But with this particular program, It is extremely streamlined to where they are accepting those credits and our students are not having to repeat any of those sciences that they've taken here at TCC, which is huge as far as money and time towards that 4-year degree. So just wanted to kind of point that out as well, just as a reminder. Any other questions that we have either for the group or in the chat? I don't see any other ones coming in the chat. I am going to put the form to sign in. So if you are new to our parent webinars, I'm going to put it back in the chat. So if you will fill that out. For those of you who are repeat visitors, I found out tonight you can't fill that out, but I will try to correct that for next time. Okay. Did you guys have anything else that you want to share?
I do real quick. I really want to introduce this page to all of you as a resource. If you go to our admissions page, not the program page, not TCOM's admissions, and you click admission events, it's going to take you to our admission events page. We offer 2 information sessions per program per month. So if your student wants to start preparing for Texas College of Osteopathic Medicine and kind of learning some of that, please go ahead. It's not too early. Junior and senior years, those are great times to start preparing those resumes and those volunteer hours, those clinical experience hours. Campus tours, if you would like to come as a group, please go ahead and self-schedule as a group. We'd love to have you on our campus. If you want to come as a family, again, you can also schedule that on campus tour website. Lastly, if you click on schedule advising, it's going to take you to this wonderful page. It is unique in the state of Texas in terms of graduate recruitment. Pretty much you can self-schedule an appointment with any of our 8 advisors at any time. Any of them should be able to answer the questions that you might have about this undergraduate program or about any of our other programs. It is completely free, so please put my team to work. Let's keep them busy. But that is all. Thank you.
All right. Well, I don't want to keep everyone. If we are all set and all done, let me check the chat one more time. Don't see any other things in the chat. So I think we will go ahead and close that out. I'm going to stop recording and then hang on.